Shanks lost his arm in Chapter 1 to a Sea King. Now that Oda did plan that to happen, but someone did suggest to him to make the scene more impactful. And that's why Shanks did lose his arm to a Sea King that even Luffy one-punched it. Shanks did become a Yonko after losing his arm, so the loss of the arm did not affect him at all, or there is something more to it. I think during the fight Shanks has both of his arms. How is that possible? I think the answer is Haki. The further we reach into the story, the more Oda is revealing the true power of Haki. We have seen people use it to coat their arms with standard armament Haki, so Haki is coating the arm to a layer in the shape of the arm. But even when Luffy changes the form of his arm, the Haki takes the shape of the arm as it is at the moment. So it is flexible, and the user can use it as he wants. Armament Haki can be used also in objects, for example swords. So it is not restricted only on the user's body. Haki can be utilized in other ways as well. Higher levels of Haki can be used to attack as well, like for example when Mihawk did attack Whitebeard in Marineford. Notice how big is the amount of Haki that Mihawk was able to use for a regular attack without any problem. It is not that he was tired out of that attack, or that was all the Haki he could use. Rayleigh did something similar against that big elephant to show Luffy what can you do with Haki. And the admirals in Marineford did create a barrier or a shield to protect themselves against Whitebeard's attack. So there are a lot of ways how Haki can be utilized. The form of the upper body that Luffy has in Gear 4 Bondsman is shaped and controlled by his Haki. There is a difference between Bondsman form in Dressrosa and that in Whole Cake Island. He did use more Haki, and due to that he was able to shape his back into a muscular form as well. And that's why Gear 4 Bondsman drains his Haki so much. I guess in the future he will use that form with no problem when his Haki will get better and also make it a better version. So, with all that being said about what Haki can do and how it can be utilized, I think it is possible to create artificial Haki limbs for a short period of time. How much time they can maintain those limbs? Well, that depends on the amount of Haki the user can generate. And Shanks is one of the best Haki users, so if that technique is possible, then it would not be a problem for him. One of the reasons why I think this could be the case is to make the fights more intense. Oda does not do death matches. The fights do not end up with someone dying, and since we know that, it lessens the intensity of the fight. Because death is taken out of the equation, but by having fighters losing parts of their bodies, it will make the fight more high stakes and thus more intense. And by being able to create artificial limbs, they can continue fighting at full strength. Oda likes to use his characters more than once, so even if they lose limbs in the fight, they will not be handicapped in future fights. And also the characters will look more like real pirates. The reason why it was very common to see pirates missing an arm or a leg, it is due to their fights being very fierce and intense, and they being merciless. They did not have a trained fighting style, they were very merciless to their opponents. There was no honor or a code or things like that. From the writer's point of view, Oda has already used that as a technique in his story, but with Elford power. Perospero lost his arm and Pedro went Super Saiyan. I cannot wait to see what Pedro will do next in Wano. So, Perospero using the power of his Delphoot was able to create an artificial arm. Also, Aokiji is doing the same thing, after he lost his leg when he fought Akainu. Using the power of the Delphoot does give the user longevity, because the power of the Delphoot does not run out like Haki does. But the advantage of Haki limbs is that they are stronger than the limbs that are created by the Delphoot power. And if a person with Haki limbs will fight against a person with Delphoot power limbs, then in this fight the person with Haki limbs has the advantage, since Haki does negate the power of the Delphoot. And lastly, try to imagine this scene. Shanks is fighting someone, let's say Blackbeard. And Blackbeard is using strategy and tricks to corner Shanks and put him in a position where it seems that there is nothing he could do to counter Blackbeard. And out of nowhere comes his left Haki arm and grabs Blackbeard by the neck. And the fight continues. But how do you guys think this fight will end? Who will win? Shanks or Blackbeard? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.